Welcome to the glorious site of Chamonix. Chamonix Mont Blanc, to give it its full name, as we prepare for the mixed relay youth event in the ISMF European Championships. Situated in the French Alps just north of Mont Blanc, the highest mountain in Western Europe, conditions are looking absolutely perfect for competition this afternoon. Air temperature, -8 there. Humidity 50%. It is a humid resort, Chamonix, and everything poised and waiting for the start of the race in 10 minutes' time. Well, joining me, Lisa O'Sullivan, with the expert eye on this afternoon's competition is Leo Besson. Leo, it's looking spectacular, isn't it?
Hi everyone. Yeah, today is a great day for this competition. Really nice weather, and also the snow is in really good condition here in Chamonix. So it will be a really great day for the athletes as well as the public to see this race.
And we've got the look at the course here as well. 160 meters up in that first ascent. And we have a downhill. We've got a footpath in the middle of the next ascent. And it's going to be testing conditions here, even though it's beautiful and the snow is fantastic. For those who are not familiar with the mixed relay, we have one male, one female athlete in each team, and they will ascend and descend the course twice. First over the line will be the winner. Quite simple, Leo. It's the second time we've got this at the European Championships, but the first time we'll see the youth teams setting out across the course.
And maybe a little resume of the last relay we had in Val Thorens. But it was the senior category, so I think we're gonna do it for the senior category. We commented in we're starting the live at something like 5 p.m. So it will be really interesting because this year is the third year for championship with mixed.
The sun was out on Sunday in Val Thorens for the second day of competition of the 2023 ISMF World Cup and the mixed relay race planned for the athletes. Even though the temperatures were still freezing, 43 teams were ready for a fantastic day of the Fast and Furious format that will make its debut at the next Winter Olympics in Milano Cortina, the mixed relay. China, with 11 teams, and France, with 9 teams, were the countries with a broader representation, while Spain, Switzerland, and Italy had 3 teams, Austria, Germany, Poland, and Japan 2 teams, and 1 for the rest of the squads, for a total of 13 different countries. The qualification was a hard battle for all the teams, knowing that only 1 team per country would make it to the final, with a maximum of another 2 teams from the same member nation allowed on the V final. In the final, Emily Harrop went full gas from the gun, trying to make a gap as big as possible before handing over to her teammate. Behind her, Giulia Murada from Italy, Joanna Hiemer from Austria, Ana Alonso from Spain, and Caroline Ulrich from Switzerland were battling to stay in touch, while Team Germany, Slovakia, and Poland were slowly fading behind the group, with Slovenia, China, USA, and Japan losing ground but avoiding being lapped out. Harrop handed over to Thibaut Anselmet clearly in the first place, with almost 30 seconds ahead of the group of 4 athletes chasing them. But as soon as Oriol Cardona from Spain was tagged, he started an impressive chase, and by the time they were on the second ascent, Cardona and Anselmet were shoulder by shoulder, with both of them tagging their teammates together for the second lap. Behind them, Nicolo Canclini from Italy was trying to open a small break with John Kissler from Switzerland and Paul Berviac, all of them still relatively close together. The second round for Harrop was another display of strength and technique, tagging Anselmet with a 42 seconds lead over Cardona, a time that was just a bit too much for the Spaniard. The Spaniard gave it all in the last climb, but was not able to catch Anselmet, who crossed the finish line in the first place and hugged Harrop for their first victory of the season, proving that they are the ones to beat once again, current world and European champions.
We're really happy today. For sure, to start off the mixed relay racing season, we love these races, and so it's really great to come back with a win. After last year, we did it as well.
This victory, as Harrop says, was also a confidence boost for Harrop after the accident she had with her ski the day before in the women's sprint. Also, her partner Anselmet highlighted the tough race and the fight against Cardona and was very happy with the start of the season.
It's very good to start the season like this. It's always good to race with Emily.
Cardona and Alonso were also happy with their silver medal, one to add to their 2 victories in the mixed relay events last year.
I feel good. I have good memories from last year here. We have achieved the same result, so I believe that is a big start of the season.
Oriol felt tired after the sprint race the day before, but felt happy with his fight against Thibaut.
It's been super nice for me to fight with him. I think there were some times in the race that we were close, so for me that's enough, and I'm so happy with the result with Anna, and hope this season is going to be as great as today.
Finally, third on the podium were the Italians. While Nicolo Canclini was not in his best shape, Giulia Murada gave her best and feels she can always rely on her competition partner.
With Nicolo, we made a great team, and I'm happy to race with him. I know I can trust him even when he's not in his best shape, so it's a good day.
Nicolo Canclini knows that he still has time for the next competition and says this is only the beginning.
Now there is a lot of time till the European Championship, so there's a lot of space to improve, to train and work on the last things.
Closing the top 5, a decisive last round for Paul Berviac put Team Austria in 4th place, being Team Switzerland on the 5th spot. All athletes delighted the home crowds in Val Thorens to kick off the first mixed relay race of the 23-24 ISMF World Cup season. A great start to the year in which all athletes have shown that we still have a lot to see and enjoy in the snow this season.
Great conditions there at Val Thorens earlier at the World Cup. But we are in Chamonix for the youth setup. And one thing we should mention as well, Leo, from looking at that recap, there's a couple of notable absences for the senior race later. No Emily Harrop and no Giulia Murada, both of them ill. So we've got different teams coming up later in the seniors. We will be talking more about that when the race gets underway at 5:30 Central European time. That will be the B final getting underway then, and The A final at 6:30 Central European time. Fantastic night race under the lights. But we're enjoying absolutely impressively beautiful conditions in Chamonix ahead of this youth race. The sky's clear, the sun's out, perfect snow, no wind. And the competitors are getting ready to take to the start line. Leo, you know so many of these competitors. What does it feel like when you're this close to the start of a race?
Yeah, it's quite a mix of motivation and also a bit of stress because you really want to do well, and especially in the mixed relay, you're in team, so it's really important to do a good race, to be satisfied at the end and not to disappoint your teammate, I would say.
So we have 17 teams available for the competition in the youth race, and we will have 11 going in the A final. Just one nation represented in the A final. There could be 2 nations represented in the B final, but as things stand, we've only got 2 teams for each nation. So these effectively are the B teams for the nations in the B final, which is pretty much what we would expect. And we see the teams getting themselves into an early position there, bringing up the rear. Ingrid Klokseth of Norway, tucking in at the back. And we are underway in the B final of the youth final at the European Championships, the ISMF showpiece. And Chamonix is really making things look spectacular. I can't emphasize how much I wish I was out on the snow with them. But the second best place is to be here, where we will follow them every step of the way.
And we can see a really fast start from Louise Rigaud, who unfortunately fell during the sprint 2 days ago. So I think today she really wants to do a good race. And also it is behind her, it's Margot Mendes for the Swiss team. So France and Swiss at the front of the race, but yeah, it's 2 rounds per athlete, and the end is still a long way. And also, so maybe a little explanation. So first round is all the women starting together, and then it's after the first round is the men that are starting, but with the advance given by the teammate. And then it's one more time for the women, and at the end it's the last time for the men. So 2 rounds per athlete, and it's quite difficult to manage because you have to stay warm between the 2 rounds, and as it is quite a young discipline, I would say, there is still a lot to learn for this discipline, and also some things to experiment. And we saw during the sprint that some teams are using a bicycle to
the static bikes.
Yeah, to manage this in between time. And I think today it's also the case with all the nations having a tent and some bikes in it.
Very important to keep the legs moving once you've warmed them up and you've got underway. And we're seeing a breakaway from the front 2 there. Margot Mendes de Lyon and Louise Rigaud of France, just ahead of the chasing 6 teams in this B final. There'll be 11 teams racing in the A final.
And we can see that Louise Rigaud is really doing a great first ascent here, with a bit of advance on Margot Mendes. And in third position, I think, is the Italian with Anna Pedranzini. And here is the first transition zone. So after the first ascent, the longest one, at least 60 meters of positive ascent.
Just a touch of the skins there, slowing up Louise Rigaud a fraction, but she is first into transition and first out. And making a careful descent. And it's not about being pretty, it's about being quick down the slope in SkiMo. although her technique is very good. Running very smoothly down this groomed piste.
Yeah, the downhill today I think isn't too much technical, so yeah, it's really good to gain a bit of energy during the downhill, keeping back the breath, sorry. And here we can see that there is the first transition zone where the athletes are putting back the skins.
And I think that Margot Mendes de Leon has had a great descent there. I think she's potentially caught up some time. And did they both overshoot when they came into transition there? They looked, I think, no, they just...
Yeah, I think it's really important to have the course really known, because here we could see that Louise Rigaud was going for the handout zone, and yeah, there's still an uphill before, so you have to turn really a turn that is quite important here to go into the transition zone, and then the athletes will go straight away to the handover zone.
Fractions of seconds could count as we head towards the end of this race, and as is always the way in a relay, it sometimes brings a little bit more out of the athletes because they have to hold up their side. They don't want to let their teammate down, and they want to give them the best possible advantage going into their leg of the relay. A little zigzag, no kick turns needed here.
In this second uphill, there is the foot part, as you said. It's a bit shorter uphill, but still, yeah, it's quite unusual to have this type of effort, because it's in between a sprint, an individual race, as well as the vertical. It's quite a mix of all the disciplines in SkiMo, with the technical aspects of individual race, the explosivity and speed of sprint, and the endurance of vertical, being having a good engine, I would say. And yeah, it's quite a tactical choice to be made from the coaches, because you have to choose an athlete that is capable of starting well, but also holding a good rhythm till the end. So yeah, it's not always the sprinters, the good sprinters, that are doing the relays, but also some of the good athletes in vertical as well as in individual race. So it's quite a choice to be made from the coach.
So if you are watching this for the first time, the yellow mark is indicating this is the foot part, and the skins stay on the skis, but the skis have to go on the backpack, and you are running up the mountain. This is a real skill in these boats, but look at that fantastic surge from Margot Mendes de Leon. She really put in some effort in that sprint up the hill, and will that have paid off?
And she's in really good shape, because yesterday she went third during the vertical race, so I think she's quite in confidence today. And also Louise has done a great sprint 2 days ago, but unfortunately, as I said, she fell during the final, finishing sixth. So today I think they are quite the two bests of the athletes in this final B.
Just stay with the leaders at this point, just making sure that nothing is going to fall out, but the skins will be going in, and they don't have to be folded too well this time. And maybe just carefully making sure they're going to be able to be reattached when they need to be. Louise Rigaud of France heads off down the mountain. Margot Mendes de Leon looking to close the advantage as she did on the last descent.
And in third position is Eina Gareta-Farus, for Spain.
And Norway's Ingrid Klokseth as well there.
And this is the last transition for this round. So we can see that Elliot Robin-Sage, the teammate of Louise, is preparing into the ending out zone. And you have to put back the skins because it's a thing to do. It's compulsory. Sorry, because if you're not having a transition zone here, the athletes are coming too fast. So
Well,
it's
that
a
cost
thing
a few seconds for Louise Rigaud there as well, that she had to go back just to make sure she was on the right side of the line. And she now hands over to Elliot Robin-Sage.
He's in really
Am I
good shape
pronouncing his
also.
name correctly there, Leo?
Yeah.
Sage?
Sage, yeah, I think.
Sage.
And yesterday he went second, battling for the title up to the finish with the Italian Herman De Bertolis. So yeah, he's also in great shape. And for Switzerland is Mathieu Fariza, also a good athlete. And for Spain it is Gonzalo Casares-Servias. Second yesterday during the under 18 vertical race, so also is in great shape.
It's a bit of an alpine style, alpine cross-country kind of glide there from the Frenchman, who is leading the way into his first leg of this relay. And the women will go and keep warm. They'll have to do all again. They'll have learnt lessons from that first pass of the course as well. Perhaps worked out where it's better to attack their opponents as well, where time could be made up. But Mathieu Farisa has got Elliot Robin-Sage in his sights, and he's looking to try and close him down, the Swiss running up the mountain, using the poles. His coach running alongside.
Yeah, it's
Very
quite
clearly very clearly indicated coaching zones allowed in SkiMo, Leo.
Yeah, it's important because if you're not, there are coaches everywhere, and it's important to have the athletes free to move as they want. And yeah, it's quite tactical here because Mathieu Fariza is trying to catching up with Elliot Robin-Sage, but yeah, maybe it's also important to have a good rhythm because the first uphill is really long, and if you're starting too fast, then you're paying your start at the end of the track. So yeah,
Paying in lactic acid as the race builds on. This is a real test of lungs and legs and arms and strategy, and definitely skill to make sure that you are in control on the downhill, because we're coming up to the first transition for the men, and it's very close between the front two.
And also, as they're doing 2 rounds, it's important to not to give everything during the first round, because if it's the case, you're really gonna be too tired for the last round. So yeah, it's really tactical, and it's a good, especially for the youngs, it's really good to learn how to manage your energy. A really important thing in SkiMo when you are in the senior category. But no problem for Elliot Robin-Sage here, going down first, followed by Mathieu Fariza for Switzerland. So France and Switzerland at the front of this final B.
Nothing really to choose between these two.
Yeah, the downhill isn't technical, I think. Not much technical, at least, but there is quite plenty of room to pass by an athlete. So it will be interesting to see during this,
the final leg.
race. Yeah, especially
exciting.
and also among the senior category.
That is quite a tight turn, isn't it? Oh, and there's the overshot Mathieu Farisa. There is a line in the snow there, and he did slightly overshoot. It's a tight turn in to the transition zone.
Yeah, and there isn't any it's not that long between the entry and the end of
Stop
this
line,
transition
yeah.
zone. So yeah, you have to be aware, because if you pass this line, the end line of the transition zone, you've got a penalty. So we saw that Mathieu Fariza had to go back in order to be into the transition zone, and they're really close to each other, and we're waiting for the third place.
Oh, a little misstep there from the Swiss.
And it's the
So the
Spanish
poles will
team.
help you up.
Yeah, Spanish team in third position here. Some kick turns to do.
González Casares of Spain in 1:16.2.
Fourth is the Italian team with Eric Canovi.
Just making sure everything is zipped up enough. Conditions quite warm, so not having to zip up quite so much as we saw earlier in the week in Flaine, when it was quite low cloud and foggy. So Italy are in fourth as well.
And Mathieu Fariza
He has moved in front.
trying
Yeah.
to pass Elliot Robinsage. Yeah, it will be a fight till the end, because the men as well as the women are quite with a similar shape, I think. Also with Louise and Margot, so it will be really interesting to see the end. And the Spanish just behind, doing also a great race.
Oh, this is such a psychological mind battle up the race there, as much as a physical battle. I can get past you, so I'm going to get past you. That is a fantastic transition there by the Frenchman, Elliot Robinsage. Skis down, skis on, and straight onto the rest of the race, leaving Mathieu Fariza running to catch up.
Yeah, but Mathieu is in really
And there
great
he
shape. We
goes.
can see here he's doing a great end of this uphill. Yeah, it's good to give the first position to your teammate, because it's always a bit like a mental game, and being in first position is always quite an advantage. But Elliot Robinsage is doing great transitions today, and you can see that he could coat back Mathieu Fariza here. Yeah, it will be interesting, because now there is only the last transition with putting back the skins, and I think it will be really close to be in the end-over zone, I think.
Gonzalo Casares of Spain. He's looking to stay in third position.
And it's important to say as well that there is a mix between the under 18 as well as the under 20 categories. So some are still in the under 18, so nearly 2 years younger than the others. So also this makes quite a difference, because yeah, at this age, when you're 2 years younger, it's quite a lot of experience less. So yeah.
France are back in front, and Louise Rigaud starts her final leg. Now, we saw her very confident on these ascents, and we saw Margot Mendes de Leon catching up time on the descents, but also running past her on the foot part.
Yeah, and maybe the
bit
Swiss
more
team
running,
is.
maybe.
Yeah, the Swiss team, I think, is maybe a bit better with the shape. Oh, here we can see that it's really close between Spain and Italy. It will be really interesting, the battle for the third place. But yeah, maybe the Swiss team at the front is quite in a bit of a better shape today. But the French team is really strong into the transition zones. And you can see that it makes a huge difference, because yeah, especially in the mixed relay, it's really important to do really quick transitions, and I think the French today are really great.
Yeah, well, look at the times there. It was 8.85 between France and Switzerland at that final handover. So that final transition did not go well for the Swiss. I think Farisa had an issue getting his skins out of his race suit, but just 0.54 of a second between third and fourth, between Spain and Italy, which is shaping up to be an interesting battle for the third place on the podium. And we're just waiting for the Norwegians here.
Yeah, we can see that the Norwegian has a problem. His bib being glued to the skin. So yeah, it's really important to manage well your skins, because there are 3 uphills in mixed relay, and the majority of the athletes are taking 3 pairs of skins in order
This is
to be
looking
really
good
quick.
for
And
Switzerland.
you have not-
Sorry to interrupt there, Leo, but it looks to me. Oh no, she is. She's still in second place. I thought she'd
Yeah.
managed to overtake Louise Rigaud. But yes, sorry, 3 pairs of skins.
Yeah, so it's quite complicated to manage it, because having 3 pairs of skins in your racing suit is quite a mess, and you have really to be trained in order not to lose too much time. And maybe it was the problem for Mathieu Farisa, that couldn't find the good skins in his racing suit. Yeah, but really nice race from Louise Rigaud. She's really doing a great uphill here, not starting too fast and going up really concentrated.
Head down, using her poles, focusing on the climb, not worrying about what's happening behind. Margot Mendes de Leon is the figure you can see looking to close down that gap. Slightly longer stride than the French woman, who hasn't changed pace all the way up, breathing quite heavily now, as you would do.
And the slope isn't too steep, but yeah, still quite important to yeah, I think the slope isn't too steep, as I said, sorry, but yeah, still quite difficult to go up this slope, because if you're running, you're losing too much energy, but walking sometimes is not fast enough, so you have to choose and maybe make a variation between the two, between running and walking fast.
We're looking at our front 4 from behind there, because that is such a great battle between Italy and Spain for the third place at the moment, as Louise Rigaud transitions. The skins are coming off. She's heading down once again into her suit, poles up.
Yeah, no problem
Clear.
for her with the transitions today. Really doing great.
Yeah, and she's got a clear gap now between her and Margot Mendes de Leon.
Yeah, maybe Margot started a bit too fast for during the first uphill, and then she had too much lactic acid in her legs. So yeah, really, Louise managed really well this first uphill, and now she can give everything into the second uphill, because the last one, as you could see before, it's really a short one. So yeah,
That's a sizable gap. Yeah.
yeah.
And she was able to let her skis run smoothly on this beautiful groomed piste, which is pretty much just a case of negotiating the contours. No effort to slow the skis on the way down here. Just making the turn safely, tucked in a nice aerodynamic position. And this is shaping up to be an interesting leg in the youth mixed relay. This is the battle for third between Spain and Italy, and there's still very little between the two. Louise Rigaud of France leads the way, with Switzerland's Margot Mendes de Leon looking to stay in second place, but she's losing time on that transition again. She's off and underway. Third out. It could well be Italy, or will it be Spain? It's still all to go in this race.
And we see that Margot is also doing a great start once again. We will see if it's sufficient to catch up with Louise Rigaud. It will be interesting. And Spain in third position. Just behind is Italy in fourth. Also a great battle for the third place. But I think even the podium for all the athletes here isn't done yet, because there's still the men that have to start. So it will be really interesting till the end to see who's gonna win this final B. And it's quite a long week for all the athletes, because the majority of the young athletes have done all the races during these European Championships. So they've already done the individual on Monday, the sprint race on Wednesday, and also the vertical race yesterday. So yeah, I think it's really exhausting week for them. But for sure it's a great experience, and you can see that even if they are quite tired, they're doing really great today. And in fifth position is the Norwegian team, also doing a great race. Nice to see some northern countries in SkiMo having a great level, also with Ida Waldal, who has done already 3 gold medals, really impressive.
Final foot part for Louise Rigaud. So everything going into this run. Marie Mendes de Leon, I think, knows she's going to struggle to catch the French woman at this point.
And you can see that Italy and Spain are side by side. Yeah, it's really hard when it's in this configuration, because you always want to be in front of the other athlete, but yeah, also it's good to have a fight, because it can help you to catch the front athlete. So maybe the battle between Spain and Italy is quite helpful for them to catch in front of catching back Margot of the Swiss team.
And here we have Louise Rigaud. I think she's had an excellent race for France. She hasn't panicked. She's done everything right. She's come smoothly through her transitions. There's just one more off and one more on. Another descent. One of the highest resorts in Europe. And here, Europe's highest mountain, Mont Blanc.
Margot is doing really great with the transition at the top, but when she has to put back the skins, sometimes there is a problem putting back the binding. So yeah, Louise today has really shown that she was really great in the transition, as well with great shape. But we will see, because they are still the men. They have to do one round, and it will be really interesting to see if Mathieu Fariza is able to catch up with Elliot Robin-Sage.
Oh, the weight. Oh, the weight. It's probably best not to look, isn't it? Because you want to help. Let's go. France start the final leg in the lead of the European Championships Youth B final. Elliot Robin-Sage. Smooth, almost like a cross-country skiing style. And into a slight jog. Oh, frustration there from Mathieu Fariza.
Problem for Margot Mendes. Maybe she has lost the skin, so it's not good to. And yeah,
he's going to lose second place at this point. Spain are going to start their final leg ahead of Switzerland. So a great transition for Spain. And Aina Garreta setting Gonzalo Casares off in second place.
And we can see that he's really
36 seconds. finally
He's
Switzerland.
really starting fast because I think he really wants to have a gap on the third in order to manage the end of the race.
Look at that, Leo. There was quite some transition for Spain. A good 20 seconds quicker than Italy, who they came into transition at the same time with. So that was something really special by the Spanish
Yeah,
pairing.
and we can see here with the Spanish that we can see the skins coming quite off of the racing suit. So we can see that there is 2 pair of skins in the racing suit. Third being on the skis. So yeah, as I said, they're using quite a huge amount of skins, and it's really important to be concentrated, even
So
if
it's a
you are
slightly
really in.
different set up there for the Spanish, isn't it? Because they've got a pockets outside the suit rather than inside the suit. They're not unzipping to put them in. They are outside the suit. These, the French, they're tucking them right inside. So it's one less thing to do if you don't have to keep zipping and unzipping, if you can pop them in the necked pocket outside the front. But at the moment, it is France who are leading. Elliot Robin-Sargé striding up. He's looking very confident, isn't he?
Yeah, and yesterday, as I said, he was battling for the title in vertical race till the end with Herman De Bertolis, the Italian guy. So yeah, I think in uphill he's really one of the best. And yeah, maybe for the racing suit it really depends your strategy. Sorry, because some athletes are putting even the skins in the backpack, I think. And yeah, it really depends on what you used to, and yeah, your tactic. It's a choice from the athletes. There isn't any truth, I would say.
Yeah, for races short as this as well, you perhaps don't need to worry as much as you would for an individual about keeping the skins at the right temperature by using your body temperature. But yeah, that was such frustration there for Mathieu Parisse, and nothing he could do to help his teammate Margot Mendes de Leon. He had an absolute shocker of a transition, allowing Spain to go into second place. But right out in front here, Elliot Robin-Sargé, who's had a fantastic European Championships, as you mentioned. Second place in the vertical race, third in the individual race as well. And he would like to top it up with a win in the B final.
Yeah, and even during the individual race, he came second, but had a 1 minute penalty. So finally he was third, but yeah, I think he's really in great shape. It will be also interesting to see Jules Rebaud, who is the under 20 winner of the individual of Monday and also the sprint on Wednesday, who will compete during the final A in less than 30 minutes now. Yeah, really strong French team, and today during this final B with Elliot Robin-Sargé and Louise Rigaud, they're doing really a great race, and they really deserve to be in front today.
We are really lucky with these B finals because of the way the system has been set up, that only one nation can be represented in an A final. There's a lot to fight for in the B finals because you want to be potentially at that point second best. You want to be the best in your nation, but illness or injury could mean that you would move up to represent your nation in the A final. So these are always going to be hotly contested competitions. As we see Elliot Robin-Sargé head towards the mountain top once again. He's transitioned very well. That's been a great catch up there by Mathieu Parisse. He was quite some distance behind Gonzalo Casares at the transition. So he's closed down some of that gap. That's 34 seconds, pretty much as it was at the handover between the last woman and the final leg. But yeah, Parisse has now lost a place to Italy. Italy have clocked out ahead of the Swiss. France leading from Spain, leading from Italy. What a race.
Yeah, and Gonzalo Casares Servias is doing really a great race, and he had done a really impressive start, and now he's doing also a great second uphill. But we can see that Eric Canovi isn't that far, and yeah, we will see with the last transition, especially because we could see the round before that Switzerland has lost one place during this transition. But I think now Elliot Robin-Sage has quite a good advantage, and I think he can even make a mistake during the last transition and still win the final.
He's looking so comfortable up there. These pictures are going to be on his Instagram feed very soon. I mean, beautiful pictures, fantastic snow, great light, running up the mountain, looking very, very, very comfortable, isn't he?
Yeah,
as everybody
for sure.
else puffs to follow. See the air coming out of the lungs of the chasing pack.
And Eric Canovi, the Italian, is really doing a great second uphill because he's nearly catching the Spanish guy.
This is fantastic racing. Look at this. Going wide to make sure he can perhaps just get into this transition ahead of, and again, it's mind games here. Just getting into transition ahead of Gonzalo Casares, who will be first out. First down, though. Elliot Robin-Sage. He's been in a race of his own in this competition so far.
Yeah, we'll have to count on him for the next years because he is really doing a great European Championship. And here we can see that Eric Canovi has, I think it's his second position in front of the Spaniard. Yeah, really impressive second uphill from Eric because at the start of the last round he was quite a bit behind the Spaniard, and now he's in front. So yeah, really nice last lap for him. We'll see the last transition, as I said, because they have still to put the skins back one more time. And the win for France here.
What an absolute class act Robin-Sage of France has proved to be. Victory for France in the B final of the youth competition at the European Championships. Well, it was a great battle in the early stages between France and Switzerland, but the transitions didn't go well for the Swiss, and the French did everything right. Louise Rigaud and Elliot Robin-Sage.
And Italy coming second with a really impressive last lap from Eric Canovi. Really well deserved the second place, and I think the French today were really the strongest. The shape was really good, as well as the transitions, really nice transitions. So yeah, they really deserve this first place. And in third position is the Spanish team, passing the finish line with just one pole. I don't know if he lost the pole during the downhill, but yeah, no problem for them.
Gonzalo
I think
Casares.
you just need to have one. Yeah, it's not a problem with one pole at the arrival because it's a disadvantage not to have the two poles. So yeah, no penalty for them. And in fourth position, Switzerland, but quite a pity because they were really strong, but the transitions were quite bad today for them. So
Margot Mendes de Leon passing her teammate Mathieu Ferissa on the back, and she will be disappointed as well with her transition because Switzerland were right up there for the gold medal, and Ferissa feeling the pain, feeling that lactic burn.
and this is the Swedish team, but I think the man is heading into the last uphill, not the finish line.
Andersen, yeah. And here are the Norwegians. Ivar Holland striding up to the transition for his final downhill. It was a very special rivalry between Norway and Sweden. Regardless of what's happening anywhere else, that one goes up the jumper.
Really nice transition for for the Norwegian Iver Rollen. Yeah, it was really a nice final to see, because it was really close up to the end, and we could see also the really importance of transitions in the mixed relay. You can really lose a lot of time, and losing 10 seconds into the transition zone is quite easy if you're not lucky, but losing or gaining 10 seconds during the uphill, it's really hard. And yeah, at the end you have really to be concentrated during the transitions, because if you're not, you're gonna lose time that you have to gain back during the uphill, which is really difficult to do.
A little attention to detail can save seconds. And it is worth stressing that all the competitors in this B final are the youngest we have at the European Championships, a mixture of under 18s and under 20s. Eva Holland over the line, and Ingrid Klokset congratulates her partner as Jonathan Anderson takes the run. He'll have one more ascent, one more climb, one more bit of uphill before he can enjoy the ride down to the finish line.
Yeah, it's really good to see all these young athletes from other countries than Switzerland, Spain, France and Italy, because we really need to have some new nations coming to SkiMo, and even if they are a bit behind today, I think for the next years they will be really great athletes. And yeah, it's really nice to see all these different countries during this European Championship.
I think we have a time penalty that's come up as well for Switzerland. We'll have the confirmed results.
Yeah, I think it's Margot Mendes that lost the skin during the last transition zone, and yeah, she gave she passed, she went into the end of the zone, sorry, without a skin. So yeah, I think it's because of that Switzerland has a 1 minute penalty. But as you said, it has to be confirmed with the official results.
And after the hard work, the relatively comfortable downhill towards the finish line for Sweden, Jonathan Anderson. Just perfect conditions to be out on the mountain. The worst possible day to be trapped in an office, and the best possible day to be taking pictures and popping them on your social medias. Hashtag SkiMo.
Yeah, and congrats to the Swedish team, because they are giving everything till the line. It's really nice to see this spirit, because yeah, it really helps you to be competitive, and if they are continuing SkiMo, I think it's really great to see these athletes from other countries.
Well done, Jonathan Anderson. Looks a little bit lonely there. Was competing with Maya Boberg. So the results we have: victory for France, Louise Rigaud, Elliot Robin-Sage. A comprehensive win in the end, with Italy finishing in second. Fantastic final leg by Eric Canavi and his partner Anna Pedrazzini putting in a lot of legwork there, ahead of Spain, who battled to stay with the Italians. Gonzalo Casares and Aina Garetta. Switzerland having a few issues, finishing in 4th place. Mathieu Farisa and Margot Mendes de Leon coming ahead of Norway, Eva Holland and Ingfred Klogset, and Maya Boberg and Jonathan Anderson. Let's take a look back at the best of the race.
Yeah, we could see a great start from Luis Rigaud and Margot Mendes for France and Switzerland.
Yeah, for a lot of the start of the race, it just seemed that these two had it completely in control. We saw a great climb from Luis Rigaud, but here, this is where Margot Mendes de Leon was able to catch up a bit. And especially on this foot part here, she really did try and get herself back in front. Perhaps that's where the damage was done, Leo. Tired after that?
Yeah, just after that there is the transition, but I think the real damage was done during the last transition for Margot, because she went without one skin, and
so
yeah, we
Mathieu
could see
Farisa
that
had this
during
great battle shaping up here between these two.
Yeah, we could see that Mathieu and Elliot
Slight
were really
mistake there
fighting.
again. It's great that the spirit is there. There were a couple of errors where the Swiss would make time back, not overshooting in the transitions. And that pain on Margot Mendes de Leon's face there showed that that uphill was a little harder than the first time round. It's Aina Garetta of Spain. At this point, clear of Italy.
And yeah, I think the damage was at this moment. Spain could pass Switzerland. Really great start for the Spanish team during the last round of the men. Gonzalo Casares Servias has done really a great last round, but Eric Canovi was really strong, and yeah, I think the Spanish couldn't do anything because Eric was really coming fast during the last lap.
Well, if that's whetted your appetite, that's just one of the races we're bringing you on the feed today, because we have the A final coming up shortly. And again, a mix of under 20s and under 18s. The 11 teams in the A final, representing the 11 countries in the A final. Room for 12, but just 11 nations available. So it will be slightly more chaotic, I feel, Leo. We're going to have slightly more bodies to keep an eye on. Those transition zones are going to look a little bit smaller.
Yeah, for sure. There is nearly 2 times the number of athletes than for the final B. And for sure it's something to take into account, because if you're coming too far into the transition zone, you're losing some times to go out of the transition zone. And like in the sprint on Wednesday, we could see that it was really important to come first into the first transition zone. And yeah, so you have to, I think the start will be really impressive in order to have a good positioning for the summit of the first uphill.
And Chamonix has plenty to offer. The winter playground for fans of all things snow. And parachutes, by the look of it there as well. Somebody enjoying some microlighting in the distance. And some people just beginning their skiing journey on the beginner slopes. Their biggest fear is the pommel lift. But I can't stress enough what a glorious day to be on the mountain. Just north of Mont Blanc in France. So it's been an amazing European Championship, and we have been privileged to watch all of the action. So why not let's relive that epic sprint race from earlier in the week. Take back.
The second day of competition of the European Championships. Today we have the sprint race. The field for the women, including senior and U23 categories, is really strong. We have athletes representing 22 nations, and they will all be vying for the crowns.
It was an impressive day of competition for Switzerland at the sprint race, with Marianne Faton claiming gold after a fierce battle with Ana Alonso from Spain, and her teammate Caroline Ulrich also on top of the podium in the under-23 category. Faton made it clear from the beginning that she was on a mission to finish the day one step higher than the podium of the sprint race at the last World Championships, where she finished in second place. She dominated the qualification round, which saw all the big names of the sport making it to the next round. Surprisingly, it was Cecilia Perilat-Pesay who won the first heat ahead of Faton, with the likes of Laura De Planche from France, Giulia Compagnoni from Italy, Mariana Jagercikova from Slovakia, or Ana Alonso from Spain also winning their respective heats. In the first semi-final, Perilat-Pesay dominated again the race to make it to the final directly, along with Faton, while De Planche, crossing in third, made it as a lucky loser. The second semi-final was for Ana Alonso to shine and cross the finish line ahead of Jagercikova, both of them guaranteeing also their spot on the final, along with Caroline Ulrich, the second lucky loser. In the final, Faton showed that she had saved a bit of energy for the last effort and managed to stay in front during the whole race. It was a tough competition, but she ended up getting the well-deserved gold. Faton was very satisfied with her performance.
I saw all the race long, like in every heat, that the final will be really difficult because all the women here are very strong, so I'm really happy with the gold medal.
Ana Alonso, meanwhile, made a swift last change to cross the finish line in second place, the first podium on European Championships for her. The third place was for Jagercikova, adding another medal to her collection after outsprinting Celia Perilat-Pesay in the last meters. The fifth place for Caroline Ulrich was enough to give her the under-23 title, while Maria Costa from Spain and Katia Mascherona from Italy rounded the podium on this category.
second day of competition in Flaine in France today for the European Championships of 2024. We have today on the menu the sprint race, is the event that will be contested at the Olympic Games in Milano Cortina in 2026. We have 67 male athletes, including senior and U23, racing today, including the world champion, the European champion, and some of the strongest men on the field that will be vying for the crown for the European Championship.
The Spanish team excelled in the men's sprint races, with Oriol Cardona adding another title to his already impressive medal haul. Behind him, Arno Lieta put the Swiss team in a good stead with a silver medal, and the men's under-23 podium brought brilliant performances on the second day of competition. Oriol Cardona has been really hard to beat on any sprint race in the last couple of seasons, and today was no different. The Spaniard is the current world champion of sprint, also winner of the previous European Championships, and proved here in Flaine that racing at home helps, but he can deliver as well when racing somewhere else. Cardona had a flawless competition with a qualification round that saw him in third place, enough to taste the waters and grant him a leading spot on his heat. A heat that was won easily by him, with some of the other big names of the specialty also making it easily to the next round, such as Mateo Favre, Arno Lieta, and Loic Dubois from Switzerland and Robin Galindo from France. Switzerland was ready to prove that they are one of the strongest nations when it comes to sprint races, with 5 men in the 2 semi-finals, 3 men from Spain and 2 each for Italy and France. The first semi-final was dominated by Arno Lieta, ready for another head-to-head against Cardona in the final, with John Kistler from Switzerland and Nicolo Canclini from Italy also granting their spot at the final. On the second semi-final, it was Oriol Cardona making it clear that he was here to fight for the victory, with Robin Galindo from France and Robin Bouchard from Switzerland crossing the line behind him to make their way to the final. At the final, it was Lieta who pushed hard to get himself ahead of the other men in the first meters, with Canclini struggling with the skin and out of the final quite early. By the time the 5 men made it to the steps, Cardona was already in second place, and he quickly moved to the first spot in the last climb, not even looking back on the descent to cross the finish line to get his second consecutive European title. He felt it was a short sprint race with a very close and tough final.
Yeah, it's been a really short sprint, and the final it's been so close with Arno Lieta and also with Galindo. That's been a tough one, of course.
After this fantastic race in sprint, he will rest now in the vertical and focus on the mixed relay on Friday, where he plans to get good results with his partner Ana Alonso.
This year I'm focusing more in the sprints and relay, so I'm not racing the vertical. I just rest for the relay with Anita Alonso, and let's see if we can do a good job there.
Behind Cardona in the sprint, Lieta grabbed silver and Galindo finished in the 3rd place, while the 4th place of Bouchard earned him the title in the under-23 category. He would be accompanied on the podium by 2 fellow countrymen, with John Kistler and Loic Dubois rounding the top 3.
The resort of Flaine providing the action from the sprint races, and I was listening into that, Leo, and it sounded like you very much enjoyed covering those races. Great competition.
Yeah, it was really a great race on Wednesday, and a great competition, especially between Arno Lieta and Oriol Cardona, the 2 best sprinters in the world. And yeah, it was really close up to the end, and also, as it was said, 5 on the 23 or 6 on the 23, sorry, for the for the semi-finals. So yeah, it was really cool to see all these youngs being able to compete at an impressive level.
We've got the start list ready for the final A of the youth mixed relay at the ISMF European Championships 2024 with Louise Trancaz and Jules Rebaud, the fastest qualifiers in this race. 1:03, the French winning final B. Can they make it a clean sweep by taking final A as well? They're on the start line, just waiting for the clock to tick over, and we have 11 teams competing. Sun shining in Chamonix, absolutely perfect conditions.
And it's maybe important to say that this final A is for the medals. The final B is done to, maybe to make all the athletes competing a second time. But this final, there is the medals in the game, so it's really important to do a great race, especially. And we'll see a great battle, I think, because there are a lot of strong athletes.
We are underway in the youth mixed relay. We've got one team have stopped. The camera's just going to pick them up coming into shot now, but that was a slow start at the back there. As we take a little look at those who are up in front, Norway right up at the start there as well, which is interesting, and Slovenia as well. Two of the teams that are right at the front at the start of this race. Two ascents for each of the women, who will then hand on to their male teammate. They'll do that twice each, and then it will be a sprint for the line. Sorry, Leo.
It's already a problem for the French team at the start with Louise Trancaz, unfortunately. I think the tip of her skin went away, so now she has to catch up with the front, and it will be quite difficult because it costs a lot of energy.
Yeah, Ida Valldal had a great individual race earlier in the competition for Norway, so she's right up at the front there. Her teammate Rodal Ogan Aron. And then Slovenia, we have Clara Velepek. But I think that looks to me like Andorra have moved into second position. And again, Leia Ancion-Avet had a great individual race as well. She was right in the thick of it for much of the competition. You're looking at the Spaniard there, Laia Celes Sanchez, again, another good individual race for her as well. So all of these athletes who've been in great form across the week at the European Championships potentially should have very tired and heavy legs after their ascent and descent of these glorious mountains at Flaine and Chamonix. And it's coming down to the mixed relay with Ida Valldal striding out in front in the white of Norway.
Yeah, it's impressive to see that there is Ida Valldal fighting for a fourth gold medal for the under 20. She's in the under 20 category, and she has already done 3 medals during the individual, the sprint, and the vertical yesterday. And also Laia Celes Sanchez, the Spaniard, in the under 18 category, also for 3 gold medals already. So yeah, they're really, really strong women here.
And that is an impressive start by Valldal as well, whose teammate is the youngest of all, just born in 2007. I don't even know how to say that, Leo. It's so young. That is more to come from him, but at the moment she is doing everything she can to give him the absolute advantage. The coaches on the left there encouraging their teams up this first uphill. We're into transition nearly. A little bit of a sprint there. And Valldal has had the best possible week so far. kind of feel that she should get an extra medal for winning so much. There should be an all-round prize.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see her teammate. He's really young, as you said, Aaron Rodalhagen, but he's really strong also. He's in the under 18 category, and he has done the 6th position during the individual race and the 6th position during the sprint. Yesterday he didn't do the vertical race, I think, to be really prepared for this mixed relay. And yeah, it will be really interesting. And in 2nd position, I think, is the Spanish team with Laia Celeste Sanchez, the really strong under 18 category athlete. Already 3 gold medals, as I said, sorry. And the first transition for Norway here.
There's no stress, no over haste here from Valdal as Spain and Andorra arrive. That's just a little bit tricky for Laia Celeste Sanchez to stay on her feet. Léa Ancien-Havet. First away should be the Norwegian, and it is.
And you can see that it's really packed behind the 3 first women. And well, yeah, it will be really interesting also to see how the men will be managing the race, because there is also quite a level difference, I would say. And
yeah, and it's
yeah,
a tight turn, as we mentioned before. It's a tight turn just to that transition, and the transition line is right there, so you've got to stop straight away.
Yeah, and the Andorran team, I think, is really strong today with Léa Ancien-Havet. She has done 3rd during the individual race, 2nd during the sprint, and 6th yesterday during the vertical. And she's teaming up with Max Palmichavila Dourde, under 20 category, and also a strong athlete with the 3rd place during the sprint. And also the Spanish team with Laia Celeste Sanchez teaming up with Bill Pujol Paramount will be really interesting to watch. And also France here, I think, doing a great race with Louise Trinca. As we saw at the beginning of the race, she had a problem during the start, but now she's in 4th position, already catching up for the podium. So yeah, really impressive race.
That is a great effort for her, because she was left so much further behind, but this is a masterclass out in front from Valdal as she goes through the footpath. Skis go on the back, and using those poles, dipping her toes into the snow, as clean a purchase as possible. It's almost a sprinting action. Instead of having spikes on her toes, just dipping her toes into the hill. You can see the effort on her face as she looks to try and make it as easy as possible for teammate Aaron to enjoy his time at the front in this.
And the 5th position is the Italian team with Clizia Vallet, also a strong championship for her. 4th during the individual race, 5th during the sprint, and 4th during the vertical race. So also she's in great shape.
And that is a brilliant effort from the French woman as well, Louise Troncaz, pulling level with Andorra almost.
Yeah, Louise didn't do the vertical race yesterday. Maybe to be really well prepared for today. And despite her problem at the start, she's doing a good remontada, I would say.
But it's all about Ida Valdal of Norway. 3 gold medals so far at the European Championships for Norway. Country so used to winning Olympic gold medals on the snow, but strangely absent from SkiMo, really, in the dominant way they show in other snow sports. But Ida Valdal is changing all of that now, and that was Andorra's Léa Ancien-Havet, just getting her pole comfortable and tucking in for a quick ride to the bottom.
It will be really close at the last transition for the women here. I think there are 3 teams at least fighting for the second place behind Norway. And still the race isn't finished, and Norway has still a long way to go in order to be able to win this mixed relay here, the final A.
So we're looking at a 16-year-old taking over from a 3-time European Championship gold medal winner. And that is Aron Haugen-Rudal. Trotting comfortably on the snow in his first uphill.
Second place for the Spanish team. Yeah, we can see that the 2 really strong young women with Ida Waldal and Laia Celeste Sanchez are in front of the first round. No surprise here, even if Laia Celeste Sanchez is under 18. So yeah, really impressive for her because she's fighting with some under 20 women and still doing a really impressive first round. And Andorra here catching up with the Spanish team.
That's Max Palmichevir Dode, nearest the camera. And on his right, Biel Pujol Paramont. Neighbouring countries, neighbours on the slopes of Chamonix. And they are usually the best rivalries. Everybody wants to beat the neighbours.
4th position is the French team with Jules Rebaud. Also impressive championship for him. First during the individual race and first during the sprint. He didn't do the vertical yesterday as his teammate Luis Tranca has done. So yeah, they're really strong, and I think without the mistake or the problem at the start for Luis, they would be really fighting for the front, but down they're really close to the second place. And Jules is really doing a great first uphill here.
And that will be burning. Just coming past on the right-hand side of these two. May not quite realise how fast Rebaud is climbing, and he has moved into second place.
Yeah, and also the Italian team in 5th position is really close for the fight for the second place. But the Norwegian with Aron Rodal Haugen, they're really strong, and I think he's really doing a great race, managing to keep the advantage that Ida Waldal has given to him.
Carefully stowing those skins. It's something you see in the mixed relay you don't often see in the other races, that they stash the skins quite so forcefully and carelessly might be the word, but let's not use that one. But all is well for Norway at the moment, out in front in this youth final.
In second position is the French team with Jules Rebaud that has done a really impressive first uphill. Third position is the Spanish team, and in 4th is the Andorran team. So they're now heading into the second uphill of the course with the foot part in it. And it will be interesting because Norway is doing really a great relay up to now, but France is really strong. And maybe Luis Tranca has lost a bit of energy coming back from the back at the start. But yeah, I think it will be really interesting to see how it will end. And Jules Rebaud is doing a great transition here, I think, catching up with the Norwegian.
Who I think paying
Impressive
the price
transition
of,
for him.
and I think the Norwegian paying the price of not quite putting his skins away as neatly. He's had to untangle them a little there. But what a brilliant turnaround from the French after such a disastrous start. Norway in second. Spain in third. And Italy.
And
in that
Jules
fourth
Rebaud
place.
is under 20 athlete, so he's between 18 and 19 years old. But this guy, the Norwegian, with Aron Rodalhaugen, is only 16, as we said. So yeah, it's really impressive to see him at this level because he's 2 years younger, nearly, but still really performant and not impressed being in front of under 20 athletes.
And he is pulling out a gap ahead of the Spaniard that he left transition fairly close with.
Yeah, but the Italian team went into the third place now. Also a
Yes.
great race from Herman de Bertolis. Also great championship for him. Fourth during the individual race, fourth during the sprint, and the winner yesterday of the vertical race. I think she really wanted to do a podium at least after 2 fourth place, and yeah, today he really wants also to have another medal, I think.
Great shots of Rebo using his poles here to help his legs up the foot part of the race. And Pujol Paramont desperately trying to find a way to catch up with the Norwegian, who's dropped back into third place now.
Yeah, also a great race from Herman de Bertolis, the Italian. He's really strong. At the first ending zone area, Italy was fifth, and now they are into the second position. And Herman de Bertolis is really close to Jules Rebaud. So yeah, as we saw with the final B, with Switzerland losing positions during the last transition of the women, it will be really close, I think, at the end, because everything is still possible now.
This is looking like a pretty slick transition for the Italian. Clear of the Norwegian for now. Really tucking into an aerodynamic shape to get down the mountain fast. Going through the final part of the trail, and then it's quite an abrupt left and brakes on to get the skins back on in that transition. As we look at the Andorran,
I think they are now in fourth position.
Down.
And now the men are heading into the Andover zone with Louise Trinca doing her second round.
So she is off and away.
It will be interesting to see the tactic of the Italians because, as I said during the B final, it's really important not to start too quickly, and I think Lizia Valette really wants to catch up with Louise Trinca as soon as possible. But as the first uphill is really long, you have to not to start too quickly.
So what can Ida Valdal pull back? We saw her take quite a sizable lead in the first leg. She's going to have to do the same again to just catch up with Louise Trinca.
Yeah, it was a great battle during the individual at the beginning of the week between Ida Waldal and Louise Trinca fighting for the win during the individual. And yeah, Ida was 1 minute and 1 second in front of Louise at the end, but she got a 1 minute penalty, and at the end Ida Waldal is European champion by only 1 second. So yeah, it was one of the highlights of the day of Monday, I think.
Yeah, the race isn't over until we get the classifications and the confirmed results, because penalties can be picked up for transgressions mostly safety related.
And I think now that
I'm just counting the
Norway
places.
is in, yeah, Norway I think is in into the
Second
second
place?
position. Yeah.
Wow, that's
Third
outstanding.
place is Andorra, I think.
And she's closing
With,
up on first as well. Look at that gap coming down.
And yeah, Italy lost 2 positions.
I think that's when the lactic acid really punishes you, and you just want to have a little bit more in the
You can
legs.
see that the slope
Wow.
here is
Look
really
at Valdal
steep.
in the background, just running around.
Yeah, sorry, I was mistaken. Norway was third, but now Ida Waldal is catching the second position. Sorry. And Italy is in third position.
It's absolutely awe-inspiring to see these athletes climbing these mountains this way. The best possible day to do it, but no time to stop and enjoy the scenery. There's work to be done as we take a look at Laia Celis Sanchez of Spain.
Yeah, great fight for the podium here with Norway second position, third position Italy, and yeah, also so fourth position Spain, sorry, and in fifth position is I think the Andorran team. And as you can see, it's really close. They are really close to each other, and the transitions will be really important, as well as the managing of energy during the first uphill.
So there was 20 seconds between Tranca and Valdal when they took over. She was 20 seconds behind. Was that the end of the first lap? It just... Yeah, at the end of that first lap.
And
Let's have a look, see what that will be.
maybe for the timing, a transition putting away the skins is around 10 and 15 seconds. And here we can see that Luis Tranca has more than a transition of advance on Ida Waldal. So I think there is maybe 20 seconds now between the two athletes. But that means that Ida Waldal has taken back 10 seconds from the start of the uphill. And there's still one uphill, so maybe she can catch a bit more time to give a good end out to her teammate Aron Rodalhaugen for the last lap.
Well, this is great racing. Still to come is the senior race, which will be a night race. We have the B final and the A final on the ISMF feed. And this is the next generation coming through. A mixture of under 20 and under 18 athletes for the youth race, and the senior race will be seniors and under 23s mixed up. And we have names missing from usual teams that we might expect in the mixed relay due to illness. So we've got some unfamiliar pairings, but competition should be still pretty good. And 15 seconds, the difference between first and second as they begin the climb. Spain in third. France leading the way from Norway. Italy 10 seconds behind the bronze medal position at this point, with Andorra in fifth place. And looking at Louise Tranca,
No,
It
this
is-
is the
Oh, no, is that-
Clizia Valet, the Italian.
That's the Italian, my apologies.
And we can see here that Ida Waldal is coming really strong back to the first position. And I think she really wants to give a good advantage to her teammate, because we saw that even if he's in great shape and really, really strong, as he's only 16 years old, it's quite a bit of a disadvantage. And yeah, every
This is gonna be
second
interesting, this foot
is
part, Leo,
precious
isn't it?
for Ida Waldal.
Yeah, this foot part's going to be interesting, because this is where the mindset can really hoist you. So we go back to just see the final
In
of
Slovenia
the
in
players
6th
coming out.
position, followed by Switzerland in 7th position, with Lynn Pollinger, the really young Swiss athlete.
Right,
She's
not
also
quite looking
on
very
the-
comfortable there, but it looks like those two skis haven't fitted into the backpack quite comfortably enough for Waldal. That's not the way you want your skis on your back, is it?
Yeah, it's a problem with the backpack, and if you're holding them just before they're going on the ground, there is no penalty. But if they're falling on the ground, you have to put down the poles, putting back the skis in the right way on the backpack, and then taking back the poles. But here, I
That's
think
cost the Norwegian time on that climb, because she
yeah,
would have been
for sure.
looking to just run down Louise Trancard. The Frenchwoman remains in front with Norway second. Lea Sela Sanchez is in third. And the skins are ripped off, stashed, poles up,
nice transition for Louise.
out before Waldal can even get her boots clipped in. Her race number flapping off her backpack in the wind, coming down at speed. Jules Rebaud will be doing the final lap, but we have a little business of the skins to go on first.
Yeah, it would be really interesting to see the last lap with the French and the Norwegian team. And we're waiting for the third team now, which normally is Spain, I think. Yeah, so heads out for the French, with Jules Rebaud going for the last lap of the race. We'll see the advantage he has, but yeah, I think it's quite comfortable. If he's doing no mistake, I think it's yeah, he's in good way to win this mixed relay. Second position is
are
Norway.
underway. Okay, 18.42 seconds, the difference between the two.
Yeah, it's not enough to. Yeah, Jules Rebaud can't do any mistakes, because 18 seconds isn't enough. It's not enough if you do a mistake during a transition. So yeah, interesting to see the Norwegians this close to the first place. Maybe a little problem for the Spanish team here.
Yeah, it's just a 20 seconds slower. Oh, sorry, 10 seconds slower than the Norwegians in second, but every metre of snow provides an opportunity to close the gap. As we can see our top three making the climb.
Yeah, I'm really impressed by the Norwegian with Aron Rodalhaugen. Yeah, the tip of the skin went away. But yeah, the Norwegian team with Ida, we're not surprised that she has done a great race, but her teammate, Aron Rodalhaugen, really young athlete, also is really impressive today. And yeah, I think he's not losing too much time in this first uphill of the last round. It will be interesting to see the next timing.
Let's see what's in those legs. It's been a spectacular European Championships. And Jules Ribot winning the sprint race. He had, in fact, he is another one who's won the individual as well.
And I think the Aron Rodelaugen, the Norwegian, is really doing a really great last uphill, because I think he's even more faster than Jules Ribot. So really interesting. Yeah, I'm really impressed by his race.
Now, just 16 years old. He's not going to have a huge amount of experience, Leo, is he? But a 16-year-old has a lot of energy. And how well does he know his own body, how much he can push without emptying the tank too soon? There's just a little look back there from Jules Ribot, wasn't there?
Yeah, he seems quite surprised to see the Norwegian this close.
Another look again there, just to his left. Now just focusing on
for the third position, because Herman De Bertolis, the Italian, has done really a great first lap. And yeah, it will be interesting to see. He's in great shape. Also really motivated to do another medal after the first place of yesterday.
And Norway chasing in second place from France in the youth final A of the European Championships. Spain in the bronze medal position as things stand.
Yeah, and fourth position is Italy, I think, with Herman De Bertolis, as I said, and it will be interesting because I think the Italian can really do a great last uphill and maybe catch the Spanish team. We'll see. And now the men are heading into the last uphill. We're not counting the last uphill because it's like 10 meters of positive gain. Yeah, and we can see that it's the same strategy as in the individual. The athletes aren't folding the skin; they are just rolling it up, putting it in the racing suit, and so that when they're coming into the transition zone, they just have to take it out, and with a movement, the skin is unfolding really fast, and yeah, it's a new strategy that appeared like 2 years ago, I think. Nobody has thought about it before, and we can see that now all the athletes nearly are using this strategy.
Someone comes up with a good idea and everybody else thinks, I will have me some of that. So a slap on the helmet for himself there from Aron Rodelaugen.
Yeah, he's in a really good way to do the silver medal, I think. And we can see that the Italian, Herman De Bertolis, as I said before, is passing the Bill Pujol Paramount, the Spaniard.
This is looking a very powerful performance here from Jules Ribot. He's looking so comfortable. He doesn't look like he's been competing against the best of European ski mountaineers over the last few days. He looks like he's just popped out of bed and fancied to run up the mountain, because those legs are looking fresh as he makes a climb to the transition that will bring the downhill. And it looks at this moment as if it will be gold for France. It'll have to be some kind of disaster to deny them at this point, surely. Norway in the silver medal position. And it looks like we've got a change for third. Spain are dropped back down to fourth.
Yeah, as I said, just 30 seconds before.
Fantastic run from Herman de Bertoli. He really powered
And
up
really,
there.
really close to the Norwegian now. So I think it will be really interesting to see the last transition. It will be really close between Norwegian and the Italian team. And I think Rodal Haugen is quite tired now.
Yeah, he was fumbling with his poles a little there, wasn't he? Lost a few seconds as he was kind of ambling up the mountain, but he's into his stride now. But head down and chasing him, Herman de Bertoli. And as we go into this final transition, just a glance to the left from the Norwegian. Plants himself sideways on. Yeah, it's just all a little bit.
Yeah, Herman de Bertolis is doing a really great transition, but
He's going to
Aaron
be first
Rodal
out.
Haugen also.
Oh, it's going to be close.
Yeah, it will be really interesting, and it's really a mental game for the last transition because to be efficient, you don't have to look for your competitor, but yeah, it's quite natural to want to do it.
Interesting to see as well. The Norwegian is just that bit taller, and the Bertoli is just in behind him, trying to get some kind of slipstream from behind him, a little bit of less effort in his legs if he can get out of the dirty air as they come on down into the end of the race. It's going to be gold for France. Jules Rebo. But
And we can see the battle here.
Italy are battling it out for silver, and I think experience is going to prevail over youth.
Yeah.
As Herman de
Second
Bertoli
place.
has just managed to claim the silver medal ahead of Norway's young 16-year-old. What a talent, Aaron Rodal Haugen. So it
there
will
is-
be gold for France, silver for Italy, and bronze for Norway.
And it's still a battle here for the fourth place between Spain and Andorra. Yeah, oh, you can see that it will be a sprint finish.
No. That is a dropped pole, is it? Oh, well, it is Spain's that's going to get fourth place.
Yeah. But really impressed by the Norwegians because I think they weren't the favorites today, and making a medal at 16 years old and I think 17 years old for Ida Waldal, it's really impressive.
You
And
can see how
real
delighted
congrats to
she
them.
is. And how delighted is Herman de Bertoli as well. Arms in the air there. Absolute jubilation. But the pain of that final flourish, reducing our competitors to sitting on the snow. And Biel Pujol Paramont just behind the Italians. You can't see, you can just see the pole sticking out. He's sitting on the snow, his legs spent. It's all done for him.
But we'll have to see because
Andorra, what happened there at that final transition? Was it a drop pole? Was it a drop skin?
I think it was the ski that fell, and we'll have to wait because I saw ISMF member taking a skin just before the finish line. I don't know which team it is, but maybe a penalty will arrive. We'll see.
So we'll give you that provisional results. As it stands, it's a gold medal for France, silver for Italy, and a bronze for Norway, with Spain coming home in fourth place. Andorra fifth after a real problem in that final transition. Sixth for Slovenia. Switzerland in seventh. And just crossing the line now, it is the Czech team. As the light begins to disappear from the mountain, the shadows are lengthening. Tonight's competition in the senior race will be under the lights. We'll have the excitement of a night race. Things will be a little cooler, but no less exciting, I think. We very much enjoyed that race.
Yeah, but we could see the ISMF officials discussing about the skin, I think, and the pole at the arrival, because there was a skin, but there was also a pole just before the finish line. We couldn't see who it is, but maybe, as I said before, there is a penalty for one team. I hope not, but yeah, it seems quite strange to see all this material just before the finish line, and we are waiting now for the official results.
Still to finish. Sweden just zipping up. That is Max Osterberg, and heading off right alongside.
It's the Romanian team.
It is the Romanian team of Zaharia Dobretuda. And better tuck positions, put the Swede in front. He's accelerating away. I think the Swedish team did pick up a penalty earlier. Did I see that? They have a minute penalty. Sorry, yes, they have a 1 minute penalty coming. But you still
waiting
need
for
to
the
race to the finish, don't you, as well? So
yeah, we're waiting for the official results, because yeah,
more penalties could be applied. So the results you can see on the screen, provisional at the moment. In the youth A final.
and coming to the line, the Polish team, and yeah, the fight between Romania and Sweden, also quite close, with the Romanian coming 10th, and 11th is the Swedish team.
And all our teams have completed as the sun. So let's take a look back on the action.
So this is the image of the winners, the French team. And now we just have the interviews of the winners.
Luis Ranca, Jules Raybaud, gold medal for the youth mixed relay, last competition of the European Championships 2024. Luis, how was your race?
Very nice race. I am happy and thank you, Jules.
Jules, it was to finish this race, a gold medal that gives to you a lot of fun and a lot of satisfaction.
Yeah, Luis take me the fourth place, so I have a little job. So, but I'm very happy of my my performance. So I'm happy, and it's just joy to run today. So I'm happy.
Bah, je suis vraiment contente de cette course. C'était une super course avec Jules. Je le remercie parce que je lui ai passé le relais un peu en retard vu que j'ai perdu ma peau au départ et voilà.
Ouais, c'était un super relais aujourd'hui à Chamonix. Il faisait beau en plus, on a eu de la chance. Le soleil a bien voulu pointer le bout de son nez. Puis voilà, des personnes fortes en face. Donc une belle course à gérer et une belle coéquipière. Donc juste une belle journée.
And now, just a small questions coming on the YouTube channel. How many positive meters of difference in height you do during your season, training and the competitions, more or less, just to have an idea?
More or less 150,000 meters by year in skis, and with all the sports, maybe 250,000 meters.
So quite a lot.
Yeah, very tired.
Thank you very much, Jules and Louise, new European champion in the mixed relay youth.
Thank you.
Okay.
Well, I think that's an understatement. Yeah, that is quite a lot. The results of the youth final A, victory for France and Louise Trinca and Jules Rebaud. Italy taking the silver medal, Clizia Valle and Eman de Bartoli. With Norway picking up the bronze, the youth power team, Ida Valdal and Aaron Rondal Ogan in the bronze medal position. Finishing fourth, Spain, Andorra just behind in fifth, with Slovenia sixth, and Switzerland, the Czech Republic, Poland and Romania making up the rest of the top 10. Sweden coming home in 11th place.
And sorry, I was just mistaken with the age of Ida Waldal. Of course, she's in the under 20 category and not the under 18. But yeah, I think it's quite the performance of the day, seeing the Norwegian being third. Congrats to them, because the field is really strong. And yeah, I think especially Aaron Rodalhaugen has done a really impressive race, keeping up the rhythm of the other athletes. And yeah, and also France winning the final B as well as the final A, really impressive.
And the mixed relay will be very much part of the Olympic programme at Milano Cortina in 2026. And there is an appetite for this kind of racing for a TV audience.
Yeah, for sure. We could see that it was really spectacular discipline, and also the tactical aspect as well as the transitions that are really important make the mixed relay a really interesting race to see on the TV. And we said that the results are still provisional, so we are waiting for the official one, because yeah, sometimes there is some penalty that are quite difficult to make or to give to some athletes, because you have to, it's not really clear with the regulation of the ISMF. So sometimes there is a bit of a discussion to know if there is a penalty or not, and this is the reason why we're waiting for the official results.
We take a look at the beautifully built snow platform, the snow podium for the flower ceremony, where we will see our medalists. But Chamonix has done itself proud, and it's great to see the beginners on the right, people just beginning their snow journeys, while we see the elite competing in the SkiMo competition on the left. Of course, Chamonix was the venue for the 1924 Olympic Games, the first winter games of the Olympics. And the mighty Mont Blanc, from which it takes its name, towering around. It is a wonderful winter playground, and it's not just about the skiing. There are some beautiful trails to enjoy in the summer as well.
And maybe we can just remind the results of the final B. So it was a win for France with Louise Rigaud and Elliot Robin-Sage. Really impressive race for the French team. Really strong and also good into the transition zones. Second is the Italian team with Anna Pedronzini and Eric Canovi. And third is the Spanish team with Gonzalo Casares Hervias and Aina Gareta Farus.
Well, it didn't all go to plan entirely for France, because we saw there Louise excuse me, we saw our French Louise Trinquart having a problem right at the start of the race. She had to come from behind to get back into the race.
Yeah, and it costs a lot of energy because she had to, it was maybe nearly 10 seconds between her and the front of the race at the time of the problem she had. So yeah, I'm really impressed. She was able to nearly catch up with Ida Waldal, and also Jules Rebaud has done an incredible race. But here is the man of the day, I would say, the really young Aaron Rodalhaugen, the under 18 athlete. Really impressive.
This is something he's going to improve on, is his skin technique. I think will be something. But Ida Waldal, she really put in so much hard work to get back into the race, having dropped back. At the beginning, she established such a great advantage as well for her teammate, but she was not going to be denied. Louise Trinquart's consistent, great in transition. A great push as well from Italy, Clisia Valle, getting her team right into it. That didn't help Waldal as well. The problem with the backpack, that slowed her up. Trinquart, you felt, was looking to see where she was at that point, but then it was all about Jules Rebaud. Slap on the head. I think that was to do with his skins there from the Norwegian. He wasn't happy about his transition.
Yeah, and sometimes it's just a thing to motivate you, in order to give you a bit of motivation, speaking to yourself, and it's quite
physically harming yourself.
Yeah, it's quite helpful sometimes to.
So we've got coming up the senior race. What are you expecting? Who are you expecting to impress us here? Because we do have slightly different teams due to illness.
Yeah, for sure. With the absence of Emilia Arop since the beginning of this European Championship, it has allowed the women races to be a bit more open. But Julia Murada is into the starting list for today. Maybe she has she's being well now to compete, and we'll see, because Thibaut Anselme is teaming up with Celia Peria-Pesset this time, and it will be really interesting, because I think as Emilia Arop isn't here, it will be even more open. And we saw also that Oriol Cardona-Cole winning the sprint was really strong, and he will be teaming up with Ana Alonso, who went second during the sprint. So I think this Spanish team will be really strong. And also Nicolo Conclini with Alba de Silvestro, for sure. And also a surprise is to see Rémi Bonnet, the Swiss individual and vertical specialist, taking part into the mixed relay, because I think it's the first time he's doing a mixed relay. And he had to train a lot for the transitions, because during the individual race, transitions are important, but not as important as in the mixed relay. So it will be interesting to see him, because I think he has an incredible engine and he's really, really fast in the uphills. But the transitions will be really important for him, and he's teaming up with
they come thick and fast in a mixed relay, don't they?
Yeah, for sure. And he's teaming up with Marianne Faton, the European champion of sprint. So and then still other countries that can have strong teams. And it will be interesting to see also, because Italy and France have two teams. France has even a third team. So as we said, for the final A, there is only one team per nation, and it will be interesting to see which French and which Italian team will be able to qualify for the final A. And this is also a good thing for the final B, because it will be also a great level for all the athletes that won't be able to qualify for the final A. So it's really promising for this mixed relay of the the last race of the European Championship 2024.
Leo, you've been involved in the sport for quite some time now. How have you seen it change, especially now that it's going to appear in the Olympic schedule?
Yeah, I
The
think
individual race
one
has been the prestige race, hasn't it? But that's not going to be at the Olympics.
yeah, for my side, it's quite a pity because it's I think it's the most original. It's the race of the beginning of SkiMo, and but it's quite complicated to film it, and for the Olympics we really need to have some spectacular disciplines. And also a big change, I think, is financially speaking, because now as SkiMo is Olympic, there is a bit more of money, so some athletes can now be professional. And also the preparation, and we could see during the sprint the using of bikes to warm up. Also the tactics for the mixed relay. Yeah, I think there is a lot of evolution, and like 5 years ago, it was quite rare to see some athletes on the treadmill for testing, but now every nation is doing the test on the treadmill, as it is done in cross-country skiing, for example. And I think the Olympic Games allows to have a more professional sport, even if before it was already really professional, but now it's really impressive to see the details the coaches are searching for and trying to improve.
So many of these athletes, and I include you in this obviously, that it's not just about the winter preparation as well, it's the hours on the bike in the mountains or the trail running and the mountains, which is what most people get involved in kind of from the Olympic point of view. You're not looking at the scenery, are you? But for those who are just getting into the sport, it is about getting out and being free and watching beautiful sights like this on your own, somewhere where there isn't a gondola or a chairlift spewing out thousands of people.
Yeah, for sure. The liberty of SkiMo, I think, and the mountains as well are the two elements that you really need to love in order to be a SkiMo racer, because you're doing a great amount of training in the mountains, and if you don't like being outside, and sometimes it's under the rain or under the snow, it's cold, and sometimes we just don't want to go training, but the passion of mountain, as well as the great liberty that SkiMo allows, I think, are the two key elements in this sport.
So I'm just looking at the timings. I think we're going to be able to see the medals awarded soon. There has been a 15-second penalty applied to our Norwegian pair, but it still means they are in bronze medal position. And we'll just wait for everything to be classified. So the results as they cross the line: Louise Trancaz and Jules Reybaud of France in the Youth A final. Italy's Clizia Vele and Eman de Bartoli in the silver medal position, and Ida Valdal and Aaron Rodal Hogan in the bronze medal position. But we're just hanging on for that flower ceremony. The course will be slightly different condition-wise this evening, Leo, because temperatures obviously will drop. How will it feel we've seen the sunshine on the snow today, so it's obviously been softer. It's going to firm up a little in the next hour or so, perhaps, or how do you think by the time we get to the senior race, past?
So this is the highlights of the final B, but I think the snow won't change a lot, because it's really cold outside, and the sunshine, I think, today isn't making a big difference. It won't be more icy or something like this, and for sure it's important to take the temperature into account, because they have to wait between the two laps, as we could see, and it's really important to be well dressed with with a vest or something like this, and also maybe a bit more cycling in between to compensate this lose of temperature, I would say.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to be cold. We're watching Louise Rigaud hand over to Elliot Robin-Sage there, who had a great race, was being chased down by Mathieu Farissa, who in the Swiss team was paired with Margot Mendes de Leon. And this was, at one point, a great competition between the two. Just an overshot there from the Swiss. And this is Margot Mendes de Leon. That's Aina Garetta. That technique of getting the skins off as quickly as possible, working brilliantly for Louise Rigaud, who really was in control as Spain moved up the rankings. They were in a great battle as well with Italy throughout the race. Aina Garetta. Now, this is the final lap coming up with Elliot Robin-Sage. And an absolutely nightmare of a transition for Switzerland, giving Spain the chance to move into second position at that point. Mathieu Farissa forced to chase.
Eric Canovi, the Italian. Also a great last lap for him.
Yeah, he really put in the legwork, didn't he?
Yeah, really impressive. And this is the start of the final A.
So we saw a poor start for the French here. Louise Trancaz having a problem with her ski, and she had to work hard to get back in. That's Andorra's Léa Ancien-Avet. But Ida Valdal just made it look easy. And she handed on to her 16-year-old teammate. Yeah, remember that name. Aaron Rodal-Ogan. And this battle between Andorra and Spain kept us well entertained throughout the match, throughout the race, should I say. And we have been talking about how great this 16-year-old is, Leo, but he's got little bits as we watch these highlights where you can see fractions of seconds or seconds can come back to him. Like problems with the skins here.
Yeah, and as it was really close, no mistake is allowed, and yeah, maybe with a bit more of experience he would have managed yeah, maybe a bit better the race, but I think it was really impressive because he has done any big mistake, I would say, and yeah, the transitions are something you train, but sometimes you don't know. A day you're racing, all is going pretty well, and the next day nothing is going as you want. So yeah, there is also the luck that is playing quite an amount into the result, because if you're not lucky sometimes, yeah, you can't, even if you are really strong with a good shape, the luck is important to finish the race well.
Well, Norway were on the podium. Or were they? We're waiting for confirmed results from the Youth A final of the European Championships in Chamonix. And there's clearly debate going on. as we see these results.
So I think there is a 15 seconds penalty for Team Norway, but luckily it hasn't an impact on the final result, and they are coming third, so really well deserved results for Norway today.
So our ski mountaineers will have been keeping themselves warm before taking their place on the podium. We'll bring you the flower ceremony right now. Smiles all round. It has been a great day of ski action. There's always a massive bonus at these events that you don't have to worry about the flowers getting too warm. And of course, you don't have to nip down to the local petrol station for some flowers. Beautiful roses ready for our gold, silver and bronze medal winners. Still to come this afternoon, we'll have the senior race. That's at 1600 CET. Sorry, 1630 CET, I believe that starts. Said she, checking her notes, Leo. When we're back on to talk about the skiing. I've got my timings completely wrong there, but we have got the senior races coming. A B final, followed by the A final.
So this is the third place for Norway with Ida Waldal. Fourth medals for her today after being first into the individual sprint and vertical. Yeah, really impressive. And under 20 athlete, so...
And she needs the 16-year-old
really
to point out that actually it's bronze today. You're going to have to move over, make room on the podium. She's so used to being in the middle. That's what it's all about. But yeah, fantastic performance by her.
Aaron Rodel Haugen, so he was sixth during the individual and sixth during the sprint. So coming back home with a medal, it's always something special. And yeah, it really shows the huge talent of this young guy. Second position
Giulia
for
Valle
Italy.
of Italy and Eman de Bartoli. And here come our gold medalists, Louise Trancaz and Jules Raybaud, and deserved winners of this Youth A final, Leo.
Yeah, really strong athletes on the podium, and also happy for Clizia Vallet, the Italian, because she was fourth during the individual and the vertical, and fifth during the sprint. So she's heading home with a medal, at least a silver medal. So yeah, all the athletes on this podium are really strong, and we have to count on them for the future. Also, Louise Tranca taking the revenge of the individual race because she was second behind Ida Waldal.
Yeah. And they all count. They all remember every win and every defeat. But we're glad that we could bring you that flower ceremony with the results.
Jules Raybaud heading home with 3 gold medals. Really impressive also. And as Ida Waldal, they are both in the under 20 category, so yeah, they're really close to the senior category, and it will be interesting to see them maybe next year or in 2 years battling with the best of the best.
Yeah, the competition can only get better and better. So that is our coverage of the youth competition. We hope you'll rejoin us for the senior race, which gets underway. I'm checking my times here, Leia. I'm waiting for you to jump in and give me the timings. The A final is at 18:30. I know that.
Yeah, we're starting the live for the mixed relay senior at 20:05. sorry, 5 20 past 5 p.m. and yeah, for the B final it's 5:30 p.m. also.
So we hope you'll join us then. Thank you.